At this time, we'll start the budget hearing, please.
Not loud enough.
Thank you. Cindy Chavis will give you the instructions for how we'll be dealing with the budget at this time.
Good evening. This public budget hearing is an opportunity for the public to comment on the superintendent's proposed financial plan for 2017-2018. The school board will listen to your comments, but will not respond to statements or questions at this time. All comments will be taken into consideration as the board prepares its operation budget for the 2017-2018 school year. Each speaker will be allotted 3 minutes for their comments. I will provide you with a 30-second warning to allow you time to close your statements. Before beginning your comments, each speaker is to provide their name and home address.
Before we get started, we'd like to recognize 2 city councilmen in the audience. Tim Johnson, would you please stand? Thank you. Roger Fawcett. Thank you. Okay, at this time, we'll ask anybody from the community if they'd like to come and speak to us about the budget.
Good evening. Dr. Dobransky, Dr. Whitney, members of the Suffolk School Board and school administrators. First, I'm Sidney Neighbors, 57 Riverview Avenue, Portsmouth, Virginia. And again, I'm Sid Neighbors, extremely proud uncle of the young lady that led the line through just a few minutes ago and led the Pledge of Allegiance. Very proud uncle tonight as well. But I'm here tonight as speaking to you in my role as president of the Education Association of Suffolk, the professional organization and affiliate of the Virginia National Education Associations, representing our teacher, administrator, and support personnel members throughout the division. As we delve into the budget season for our upcoming school year, our association continues to have grave concerns about the salary increases for our teachers and support personnel. With rising health costs, we are especially concerned this year. We have quality staff that provide outstanding education to our students, but we are seeing a frightening exodus of these quality educators to neighboring districts. The days of loyalty throughout one's career are swiftly coming to a close. Salary drives longevity. Our specific concern tonight is the word average. In the compensation study conducted several years ago, it was noted that Suffolk Public Schools needed to allocate resources to bring up various salary levels to regional averages. While some salaries have been brought to that level or approached that level, we need to be reminded that we don't have average staff, we have above average staff that deserve to be compensated in that way. Teachers work hard to provide quality, differentiated, and SOL-driven instruction to our students. Support personnel pour out their hearts to our students every day and support their instruction as well as their life needs. Our administrators provide guidance and instructional leadership to our staff and students, all above average. And every level of staff deserves that same consideration and in an expeditious manner. Suffolk Public Schools has a choice of providing above average compensation for above average staff or replacing that staff. Words of wisdom often come from an unlikely place, and in this case it's from the fictional character Sam Sebring from the television show The West Wing, but I find this applicable as I read it as we look at education and education budget. And I quote, "Education is the silver bullet. Education is everything. We don't need little changes. We need gigantic, monumental changes. Schools should be palaces. The competition for the best teachers should be fierce. They should be making six-figure salaries. Schools should be incredibly expensive for government and absolutely free of charge to its citizens, just like national defense. While we know we don't have the resources for that six-figure goal, we do ask that you consider a larger move and step in the right direction. Please ensure that we provide above average compensation for the above average salary and above average staff in whom we trust our children every day. The competition for the best teachers will then be fierce, and teachers teacher retention will be at its highest level. Thank you for your consideration, support, and advocacy for increased salaries.
Thank you, Mr. Neighbors. Anybody else? Next? Next to speak.
Good evening. My name is Angela McElroy, and I live on O'Kelly Drive in Suffolk. Can you hear me? Sorry. And I am also a teacher here at Nansemond River High School, and I just want to say that I'm so proud of all our undergraduates tonight. Ladies and gentlemen of the school board and our community, I speak today to address the issue of respect for our teachers and respect for our students. The proposed budget is a clear sign that teachers and students in Suffolk are not our school board or superintendent's priority. Suffolk spends approximately $9,700 per student. Compared with the other cities in our area, we fall shamefully in last place. Hampton, in 6th place, spends $1,000 more than us per student. Suffolk also spends less on our school budget in local funds. The average school system in Virginia gets 52% of their funding locally. Suffolk only gets 37% of funding locally. We do our students a disservice, putting them at the bottom of our nearby cities in access to quality teachers and resources. Teachers in Suffolk are suffering too. Last year we had many teachers leave our system for others, many citing better pay. This year several full-time teaching positions have gone unfilled. This year many teachers have already talked about leaving, with a few already applying for jobs with other systems. Suffolk teachers are paid below the average in our area at around $49,659, compared to that of our 7 cities average of $52,382 and a state average of $56,160. Many teachers now hold part-time jobs or have some way to supplement their income from the school system. Many teachers pay for supplies out of their own pocket. Many teachers sacrifice time with their families to do the job to the high standard that we have set. We were told our pay would be comparable to those systems near us, yet we have not seen this raise yet. What we have seen is an increase in our retirement contributions and insurance premiums. And although it has been stated that we will receive a 2.4% increase this year, 1.4% of that increase comes from adding 20 full-time staff to the budget. Teachers have become teachers because we love what we do, but it's becoming harder and harder to remain in our chosen profession when we continually feel underappreciated. After all this, many of us were shocked to see the 14% raise proposed for our superintendent. Currently, our superintendent earns $12.23 per student in this system. Under his proposed salary, he will earn $13.95 per student. Chesapeake superintendent earns $5.41 per student, and Norfolk superintendent earns $6.87 per student. Therefore, such an increase in pay is unjustified. When we spend less per student than any city nearby, pay our teachers less than any city nearby, and contribute less in local funds than most school systems in Virginia, how can we expect to continue our path to excellence? In order to ensure Suffolk Public Schools remains competitive and continues to produce successful graduates, we need to stop and think about what our future success is worth to us. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next to speak. Next person to speak.
Good evening, Dr. Dobransky, Dr. Whitney, and school board members. My name is Natalie Street, and I'm a current 3rd grade teacher at Creekside Elementary School and a resident of Suffolk. I attended John Yates Middle School and Nansemond River High School. I have earned a master's in education and working towards getting certified in gifted and talented education. I have worked in Suffolk since 2011, and this is my 8th year of teaching. I have enjoyed working at Creekside Elementary under Miss Roundtree and have learned a lot from my administration, coworkers, parents, and students through the years. I can also attribute a lot of my professional development to you, Suffolk Public Schools. Since 2011, I have developed professionally through the data team, leadership committee, summer curriculum writing, summer data committee, reading council membership chair, reading council president, VCEC presenter and attendee, VSRA presenter and attendee, team mentor, Creekside's Reading Teacher of the Year twice, Creekside's Teacher of the Year, Suffolk Partnership and Healthy Suffolk, and Gardeners on the Run, which I started myself. Over hundreds of hours and dollars have been invested in me through my years at Suffolk Public School. All of these wonderful opportunities have attributed towards me becoming a well-rounded educator and professional. I've been able to learn from my mistakes, gain knowledge, and move into a path of innovation while touching over 200 children's lives and achieving proficient to exceeds proficient testing scores and evaluations from my administrators. Yesterday, my Facebook timeline showed memories from 5 years ago. One post read from 2012. Speaking at the school board meeting tonight, I hope I have a job tomorrow, LOL. This was 5 years ago, and every year since I have spoken to the school board and city council about fully funding a budget. However, this year, I'm now faced with two issues. Not only am I again here fighting for decent pay, but now I'm faced with the question, should I stay in Suffolk? After looking at the current proposed budget, the increased health care plan, the ongoing to-do list from our budget, the 20-page weekly lesson plans, the lack of promised step raises, waiting for buses until 5:30, and the inconsistency in expectations from year to year, other districts are seeing these problems and have reached out to me. At a current job fair I attended, the highest number of teachers that attended came from Suffolk Public Schools. I recently heard from an administrator in our surrounding city that they are looking forward to hiring teachers from Suffolk again this year. They know that SPS teachers have strong work ethic, and when they see that a teacher has worked at SPS on their resume, they are quick to pull them for their first interview. Do you blame them with the resume that I just gave you for the money that you have put into me? You have given me years of professional development that can quickly be taken away and used to benefit another district, another classroom, another student. While teacher retention is not a Suffolk issue, since I have taught in Suffolk, it seems to be every year. More and more teachers are leaving and are more satisfied in other districts. For the past 6 years, I've tried to work with you. I have put my best foot forward in working to be progressive and productive. But have you? What will you offer me to stay another year in Suffolk? My passion is teaching, and I have always was taught faith and family first.
Ms. Street.
And Suffolk is my family.
Ms. Street, your time is up, please.
I have her 2 minutes too. Suffolk is where I started, but I'm afraid it might not be where I finish. I can honestly say that I have given 100% towards my family, Suffolk. We forget at times who holds our head. Teachers are the neck and foundation of our school system, and once that neck falls, the head will roll. After looking over the proposed budget and the suggested raises for some and the inadequate raises of others, this makes my decision a little easier this evening. Please think again before sending your budget to the city and fully investing in teachers like myself.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Sherrick. I'm a third grade teacher at Creekside Elementary, and I'm also a resident of Suffolk. I'm here this evening to voice my concerns over issues within our district. This is my 9th year teaching, all with Suffolk Public Schools, and I am working longer hours now, roughly 10 to 11-hour days, 5 days a week. This is longer than I worked in my first few years teaching. It is not that I am more dedicated now or have made drastic changes in my teaching style. It is because the workload mandated by Suffolk administrative offices is constantly increasing year after year with no reprieve. My plate is full. Better yet, it is overloaded. Things are constantly being added with nothing or very little taken away. I write, on average, a 17-page lesson plan a week. I have to fill in charts for benchmark data and PALS data, even though there are specific reports that can be printed that give the same information. These data sheets are then sent downtown and are never spoken of or used for anything again that I'm aware of. It seems to me to be a waste of time. I feel that the tedious tasks are taking away from time I could spend enhancing my lessons and creating even more engaging things for my students. With all of the other things I am asked to do, it is my students that suffer the most. I feel overworked and unappreciated for the hard work that I do, and I know that many of my fellow teachers feel the same way. 2 years ago, we thought maybe our voices were finally heard with the return of step increases in pay. Then 1 year later, that was taken away, and so was the morale, the drive to go above and beyond, and the joy of being in this profession. It's not all about pay, but about feeling appreciated and that your hard work is actually being noticed. I do not feel as though I'm appreciated in this district. I have had numerous conversations with former SPS teachers who left Suffolk Public Schools within the last couple of years to go teach at a neighboring district. In the course of those conversations, I have found that the workload is cut in half compared to what I have to do in Suffolk. Teachers are appreciated and supported by their superintendent and other district-level staff. Come to find out, the phrase "from the state" that we are told is the reason why we have to do what we do is not necessarily true, because the people that have gone to these other districts are not having to do them. I've said all that to say this. I am done being overwhelmed with the tedious task and the micromanaging of Suffolk Public Schools. I will not be returning to Suffolk Public Schools next year. I will be taking my knowledge and my talents and pursuing a job in a neighboring district. Let me make it clear that this is not a Creekside issue, and if Creekside was a school in itself, I would not even consider leaving. The stress of working in this district, along with the impending change in healthcare, which will hit our pockets hard, have strongly influenced my decision to move on. And yes, there will always be someone to fill spots for those of us moving on, but the caliber of teacher that replaces those vacancies will continue to decline. You will hire new teachers, but they will be brand new to education, excited to just have a job, or they will be someone who just wants a paycheck. Let me remind you that although the superintendent may be at the top of the pyramid, it is the base of the pyramid, your teachers, which provides the support for the top and makes the pyramid what it is. Without a solid base, the pyramid will fall, and right now the base of Suffolk Public Schools is crumbling due to issues beyond our control. Without change within areas of SAO, the pyramid will fall.
Good afternoon, school board members. My name is Angelo Stone. I'm the president of the Bus Driver Association. I'm here to speak on the bus driver's behalf. These are my bus drivers here tonight. I've been there 7 years, and I haven't seen the one change in pay.
Speak into the microphone, please. We can't hear you. Speak into the microphone.
I've been there 7 years. Okay. We had one pay increase since I've been here. We got a 2% raise, 3% raise. They took that 2%, put it to the retirement plan, gave the bus driver the 1% raise. I don't think that was fair at all. Then I turn around and look at drivers being here for a long time, looking for no health care. No one fit us in the new budget of last year when we got 3 new schools, 27 brand new school buses, GPS systems on the buses that didn't work. We had brought tablets for buses that didn't work. We're seen to be taking a lot of money, just wasting money and putting in other programs that we could put in the driver's pocket to be able to pay for their health insurance and also be able to have a decent living. We have drivers with 20 years leaving here, only making $290 a month. Can any of y'all live off $290 a month? No. I don't think it's fair. When I look up and see you had school buses parked since 2015 to 2016, we had buses breaking down out there on the road from that year 16 and brand new buses sitting back on the lot. I don't think that was a wise idea. Why? I don't understand when I see things getting wasted right before our eyes. This thing, $28,000 I see the bus drivers making, I don't see it at all. We got drivers less than 10 years. The only thing they're taking home is $15,000 to $16,000 a year. Can y'all live on that? I don't think so. I don't think it's fair that we are the lowest paid in the Tidewater area. I don't see where we're making $28,000 a year. So I think we should be able to get the bus drivers a raise. We get at 4 o'clock in the morning out in the cold while some of y'all still laying in your bed. We get those kids to school on time. We are overstaffed. We got drivers running 2 runs in the morning, middle school, high school, elementary. We are running full capacity. Only reason y'all don't on the news because these drivers stand up every morning and be able to volunteer to help their fellow drivers and get these kids to work. So we deserve a raise. We deserve a pension, a retirement plan. Other cities have it. We don't have it in Suffolk. I don't understand why. But I see when we spend all this money for schools and we still spend all this money for buses and sitting still and we don't have any money going towards the bus drivers, it's not fair. So I think the school board should, when they go back to their budget, consider us as drivers that you put more money in our pockets. Give us a retirement plan so we have something to retire on and be able to live on as we get off here, dealing with those kids, backs, knees, different things going on with our body. I don't think it's fair to see when you look at the top, like you say, the superintendent get $14,000. I don't think that's fair at all. When I see somebody just setting keys get $49,000 a year, it's not fair. So we ask you, please, consider these bus drivers when the 2017 budget, when you go back and talk for us. Thank you.
Next person to speak. Next person to speak, please.
Hi. My name is Judy Lair, and I've had the privilege of speaking with a few of you on the school board. I don't have anything in writing, so I'm not as prepared as these other ones, but I am
Ms.
here.
Lard, what is your address, please?
Oh, Wimbledon Court. I am here in Suffolk as a representative of a parent that removed her child from the Suffolk Public Schools because she did not get the support that she needed and the parents did not get the support or the help that they needed for their child. I moved 7 years ago from Chesapeake, Deep Creek, to put my child, what we thought was in a better school system. And it turned out that that was the worst mistake we've ever made. 14% increase for a superintendent that does not even know what's going on in the schools themselves. Now, here I am today.
Excuse me. We will not have any personal attacks.
I'm sorry,
here.
what?
No personal attacks here.
Okay. Well, I disagree with the 14%. I was prepared to beg you not to give a 14% at the top of a scale when the bottom of the scale, like the bus drivers who put up with these kids and get them to school every day, the teachers that teach these kids, that is where the money needs to go. But I found out late today, after speaking and hearing different stories from different people, that the editor of the Suffolk News Heralds found out that the budget that was presented to City Council is incorrect as far as his raise, because he's already received that 14% raise. And he got a contract renewal, and that's when he got that 14% raise. So basically, y'all are asking for a 1% raise for the superintendent. Now, why are the people not aware of this? That's my question, and I know you're not going to answer it tonight, but that is my question to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next to speak.
Good evening. My name is Kiva Riddick. I'm a parent of a student that goes to Suffolk Public Schools, driver to be exact. I came here tonight for answers on questions I've been asking all day today, calling the school. Yesterday, my toddler was 2 hours and 20 minutes late getting home. He never made it to his bus stop where he was supposed to be. I actually got in my car and drove the neighborhood to search for my son on a bus which had a driver, substitute driver, whatever, who did not know the route. I don't know the ins and outs of these issues that they're saying in budgets. I have nothing to do with that. But clearly, it has everything to do with their pay or understaffed or whatever. However, my concern is my terrified 5-year-old that was stuck on a bus when it's starting to get dark and doesn't have his mom. Me being terrified of where my son was, calling the bus line and whoever the rep was on the phone, not knowing exactly what bus my son was on. When she did find out what bus my son was on, only navigating, telling me how far he is from me, 2 hours and 20 minutes. I don't know what's going on with my son. My son, as far as I'm concerned, he could be on a joyride around a corner somewhere being abused or whatever. I don't know where my son is. And at 5:40, I couldn't get anybody from the school on the phone to tell me where my son was. 6:10 is when I found my son, all the way on the other side of the neighborhood, in the bus driver not knowing where he is. I have a problem with that. And I don't know who is going to give me answers to make sure that that doesn't happen again, but I'm concerned. I've called all day long.
We have your name. Somebody will get in contact with you tomorrow, okay?
You have my name?
I think so. Didn't you give us your
Do you know
name?
how to contact me?
Well, what's your number?
What's my number? My number. KEEVA.
And your son's
RIDDICK.
Okay, we have it.
Need my address?
I don't think so. We'll call you tomorrow.
You'll call me tomorrow?
Yes.
And what's your name, sir?
This is the superintendent. He'll get somebody to call you tomorrow.
He's the superintendent? Are you Mr. Kiba?
Excuse me?
Are you?
No.
Oh.
No, but we'll have someone call you from my office.
Yeah, well, I called him too, whoever he is. Okay. Didn't get an answer yet. And his Miss Young, whoever his supervisor is, didn't get a call back yet.
Yes, ma'am.
But one of you guys will call me tomorrow with an answer. A better policy, maybe the driver's having phones or something like that so I can know where my son is at all times? Because usually if I don't get my son to school, y'all gonna call me, come in my house, take my child. I give my child to y'all, he get lost for 2 hours and 20 minutes. So somebody's gonna call me tomorrow? Y'all have a good evening.
Good evening. My name is Christina Klein. I'm a teacher at John Yates Middle School. I've been teaching in Suffolk this is my 29th year. I am a Chesapeake resident. I live at 3515 Rayty Drive. I didn't prepare any statements. I didn't actually plan to speak tonight. I came to support my coworkers and those of us at the bottom of the pyramid, but I wanted to share something with you that I think is very important. I was surprised that more teachers weren't here tonight, but I understand why they're not here. Because we talked about the budget a lot, and mostly what I heard from my coworkers was, I'm not going, I'm tired of wasting my time. It doesn't make a difference. I'm not coming back next year anyway. We don't feel respected, we don't feel appreciated, and I've never worked anywhere but Suffolk, and I've always been proud to work in Suffolk, and I'm extremely proud to work at John Yates Middle School. And I don't want to feel this way. I want to be proud of my school system. I love my job, I love what I do, I love teaching, I work with wonderful people, but I completely understand how they feel. We hear the same thing every day. We hear how you appreciate us and you respect us. But don't pee on me and tell me it's raining. Thank you.
Next to speak. Next to speak. Anybody else want to speak at this time?
Hi, I'm a student here at Nansemond River, and I was an honor grad. Okay, sorry. I was an honor grad, and I chose not to come because I was told that I was showing your hard work over these 13 years, and I didn't really feel as though I had anything nice to say because I felt like I should have been thanking the teachers and the bus drivers. There are roaches at Nansemond River. The hallways don't really have lights. The lights go out sometimes in the morning. The food is really inadequate. And I don't necessarily feel like the budget should be going to a raise. The gas lines in the chemistry labs don't necessarily work. We're just waiting for them to leak, and we don't have any pressure in the sinks. So I don't understand why this money is going to the top when we need it. We need it so bad. I'm a senior now, so I guess a lot of people tell me that it doesn't necessarily affect me, but it affects those below me, and I have a niece at driver, and I want her to have the same opportunities, but I just feel like these resources aren't being used, and my teachers are fed up, and they're short, and they're irritated, and they don't want to be there, and it's affecting us. And I'm not saying that that's their fault, but I just really feel like please appreciate them, because this year my teachers have put so much into me, and I cannot even begin to explain how appreciative I am. So I personally feel like the raise should go to them and the bus drivers because they work hard. And bus drivers, every bus driver I've ever had has been nothing but nice to me, even though all they do is just kind of sit at the bottom and be unnoticed. So if anything, I'm asking, I know it's my last year here, but I'm asking you to invest in your teachers, because if you invest in your teachers, you're investing in the students. And certain teachers have impacted my life in ways that I can't even explain. So thank you.
Thank you. Next to speak.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Sandra Wright, and I've been a bus driver for 20 years. I live at 211 Woodin Court. For the first 8.5 years, I did my neighborhood. Mr. Whitney, you are one of the principals. I take pride that I like to teach my kids how to act on a school bus, how to be respectful, how to be kind to their neighbors on the bus. We don't get that respect from our students. We don't get that respect from our peers sometimes, and we don't get it from this council. I can tell you that when I started driving, the pay was much less than what it is now. And I'm only making a few more dollars than what the people that are starting out being a bus driver are making now. If my husband was not in the military, I could not afford to be a bus driver because I can't afford your insurance. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't take care of your teachers and your bus drivers, you won't have students at school to teach, and you won't have jobs. You need to take care of us. We take care of the most precious thing that we have in our system, and that's our students. I'm not trying to ask you to change your lifestyle, but we'd like a little bit of a lifestyle that is better than what we have. We have bus drivers that get off the bus after doing 4 and 5 runs in the morning, and then they go to another job because they don't make enough money on that bus. They go to work at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening because they don't make enough money on that bus. And then they might work until 10 o'clock that night. And then they get back up that next morning at 4:30 in the morning. Our students ring our patience, but we love what we do. Otherwise, some of us wouldn't be here for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And yes, we have drivers that have been here for 50 years, 60 years, 63, somebody said.
Ms. Wright, 30 seconds.
That's older than some of you are. You need to take care of the people that count, that make you who you are. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next to speak.
Good evening. My name is Dina Green, and I live at 119 Lakefront Drive. I'm speaking to you as a parent and as a bus driver. I start off as a parent on behalf of these teachers. This is ridiculous. There should be no raise up here if the teachers are not getting a raise. We say that they're our precious time, they're our precious jewel, our precious cargo. Well, we need to start acting like that. My daughter goes to Lakeland High School, and she's the second child through this school system. She goes to Lakeland High School, is in the biomedical program, and she has had 3 different teachers already this school year. She has a math teacher who is being replaced by YouTube, okay? That's what they're using. That's what he uses every day, YouTube. Thank God me and my husband are at home, and we can help educate her. Some people do not have that ability because they are working multiple jobs. I am also here because I am blessed. My husband works for Norfolk Southern. I worked a corporate job, and I left it to come and raise my children, and I thought I would drive the bus and help out and be around my children's peers. So I'm learning a lot here. So right now I'm speaking as a parent, okay? It is so disheartening and so hurtful to see what's going on. It is almost like employee abuse. And I say that from being in management in corporate and having peers who work for me. I could not drive this bus if I was not blessed with a husband who works for a good company and makes good money. So I know some of these drivers who I sit here every day, I feel for them because see, when you have, you should recognize when you have, and you should bestow it on others. You should not be greedy, and this feels like greed because I have, but it doesn't change the fact when I go here and I work with coworkers who are working multiple jobs. And then I saw the insurance package roll out. I don't know how half of them are going to afford to still drive a bus and have real, let's be serious, real health insurance that is good, that they can go to an actual doctor and afford their out-of-pocket expenses. Secondly, you sit here and you pay these drivers below poverty level, but you want a certain caliber of driver. Because what you want is you want your kids there on time, you want no mishaps from the drivers, and you want no incidences or no crashes. But what you're paying, think about, who's working for $10,000? Because that's what it is. And then you ask for more. When I started, it was 25 hours. Then it was going to be 30 hours. Now, most of us drive over 30 hours, but our benefits being calculated are being calculated on 30 hours.
Ms.
That's
Green,
abuse.
Ms. Green,
and you
30 seconds.
we feel that we are treated as though you think because you're a bus driver, you are ignorant or you don't have any other options. That is not true. A lot of these drivers do it out of love. I'm one of your drivers who left a child who no longer drives, and you got a letter, the mother praising me. Okay, I am one of those drivers. I do it for love because I am blessed financially in other ways. So a lot of these drivers do it for love, but you're painting them into a corner. And it has to stop. And nothing is good for any of us in this room if one is constantly taking and you do not bestow your blessings to others. That has the end.
Next to speak, anybody else to speak? Is there anybody else out there who would like to speak on behalf of the budget? Anybody else out there would like to speak on behalf of the budget?
Good evening, Superintendent and fellow board members. My name is Mary Chandler. I'm a bus driver, trainer, Vice President of the Bus Driver Association. I'm here on behalf of the bus driver, and I want to take this opportunity to thank them for coming out in support. I've been employed by Suffolk Public School for 12 years, and in that 12 years, I've received a raise of $2.36, and I want to thank you for that. With that being said, if I didn't have a husband that was in the military, a provider to take care of my family, I would not be able to drive either or work for you guys. And why it's so heartbreaking, because we do so much and we get so little. We get downgraded. We're doctors, we're lawyers, psychologists, nurses, teachers, all at once. And then we got to drive the bus and be a defensive driver and make sure you don't hit anybody's vehicle. So on behalf of the bus drivers, we're not asking, we need, we want, we demand a raise from you guys. And not the 1%, because that's not enough, because you raised our insurance 8.36. So that doesn't add up. So you need to, we want you to, if it's in your heart and you love what you have here, you'll give us a raise so we can support our family like you support yours. Thank you, and you have a great evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pastor Aaron Burgess. I live at 201 Kilby Avenue. I come not as a parent, but as a community representative. My children go to a private school, but let me tell you why. 2 years ago, we moved to Suffolk. We lived in a county called Hanover County that had a school rating of a high 8. In Central Virginia, they are the standard. Then we moved to a county called Powhatan that had a high 7 rating. We got called to come to Suffolk, and your rating was 3 to maybe a 4. I could not put my children in those conditions. Now, I am a pastor, so my paycheck is equivalent to yours. And so it's tough for me. I'd much rather my children be in a public school setting. But how can I put them there when your ratings are at that standard and we're not used to it? Some words of wisdom is this: there is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end leads to destruction. And what you are doing is not showing appreciation to your team. In a corporate America, there is an evaluation process before a raise. How can you get a raise when you have schools that are not fully accredited, partially accredited, and that is still the standard? Please understand that you work for us. They do not work. They do, but in a sense they don't, because you are elected. And my advice is, if you're not going to be appreciated, speak with your vote. Because a true team is this. Here's leadership. A true leader makes those around them better. And what you're doing is pushing quality out the door. So therefore, I cannot send my children to you because I cannot trust you to properly educate them, protect them, and better their life. Why? We know what the issue is, but why? It is truly because you do not care. Actions speak louder than words. And a team is only as strong as those around them. Now, before you turn me off because I'm not a parent of your school system, let me educate you on this. Last year, I volunteered over 160 volunteer hours in your schools. I was the volunteer of the year at Lakeland High School. This year at Forest Glen Middle School, your sports program only happened because I volunteered, because teachers wouldn't, because they're not appreciated. So I'm just not up here speaking to get an applause. I can save that for Sunday. I am speaking here to encourage you, to appreciate those around you, so that we have a better school system. Because here's wisdom. You'll never accomplish anything you don't put forth the effort to achieve. I know it is your dream and desire to have the best school system in Hampton Roads, but you're not truly putting forth the effort to achieve it because your actions is pushing your most valuable players out the door. It's free agency, and they're leaving because you don't appreciate them. So instead of being the standard like the New England Patriots, Suffolk has now become the Cleveland Browns.
Sir, 30 seconds.
And I hope you hear, and thank you, I hope you take these words of wisdom, because as a leader, I would be disappointed. And I have cut my pay to bless my team, because it's not the customer that you got to please, it's the team. You please the team, you always have happy customers. Thank you. God bless.
Next speaker.
Good evening. My name is J.L. Manning, and I am a teacher at Lakeland High School. I live at King Court in Suffolk. There are a lot of changes going on with the budget this year, in particular the 14% raise for the superintendent. And as a chorus teacher, I have a different struggle that I go through than most. We receive about $300 a year to run a music program, and to pay for music for one concert quality music for one concert costs anywhere from $500 to $600. And we're required to put on 2 concerts a year. We want to go to assessments. We want blue ribbon schools. We want our kids to be the best musically. And they can be, because they are some talented students. They are so talented. But we don't have the funds. We're not getting the approval for the field trips. We're not investing in these kids' abilities. I have so many students that just want to sing. They want to go to district assessments, but with the money that I receive, I can't afford to take any of my choirs to district assessments. We have to be a part of different organizations, NAFME, almost a $200 a year payment that has to come out of my pocket, because in order to take my students to audition for all district chorus, all state chorus, honors choir, which is where we want to see our students, I have to be a member, or I have to pay $130 for each audition. And I just think that we need to really consider where we're investing. We have students whose parents each work a job, they work a job, and they're not making what you all make combined. And that's not fair. They deserve better, and we can give them better. So I urge you to take those steps to give them better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. This is the first time I have ever done this. My name is Tony Smith, and I live on Sherwood Place. I am a school bus driver. Been almost as long as Miss Mary. I'm about 11, 12 years. 4 kids in Suffolk Public Schools. My question, well, actually, I've got one that has just graduated from Longwood to be a teacher. So, yeah. The 14%, 6%, whatever, it doesn't really matter now, does it? Because we were just told that it's already happened. So, what are we here for then? It's already happened, right? So it isn't really going to do none of us any good to even be here. So, again, we've lost. Again. And I do have, like I said, I have a daughter who just graduated. She's a teacher. I don't want her to come here. I don't want her to teach here. Why? My other one, she's 23, 24. I have 2 students here at Nansemond River. Love the school. I love the teachers, and I support teachers. I support custodians. I support the bus drivers, the bus aides. But what are we doing here? If it's already been approved and you already got it, I need to leave. Thank you.
Anybody else to speak? Is there anybody else to speak? Anybody else to speak? Come forward, please.
Hi, my name is Destiny Camarillo, and I'm a student here at Nansemond. I live at Ashmead Court in Burbage Grant. This is from a student perspective. I've been a student at Nansemond River for all 4 years, and I took a DC course called Teachers for Tomorrow, and I really wanted to pursue a career in education, but after the experience that I had in learning that teachers aren't being appreciated as much as they are, and they should be getting paid more for what they do because they invest a lot in their children. And along with the bus drivers, I know they care about us. I know that they care about us as students, but you guys don't see us at school, what we're doing every single day, what we have to deal with. And along with the raise, I don't feel like it is justified. I feel like our teachers should be getting paid more for what they do. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jill Donovan. I'm a 2nd grade teacher at Creekside Elementary. I began my career in Suffolk teaching at Southwestern Elementary as a substitute teacher under the vice principalship of Dr. Whitney. I then quit school or quit teaching to raise 3 children. I came back and I started teaching at Elephants Fork Elementary. I taught there for 3 years, first doing a tutoring program with them. Then now I'm at Creekside Elementary. I'm a resident of Isle of Wight County. I live in South Isle of Wight County, and I travel 50 miles to and from school every day. I love what I do. 5 years ago, my husband lost his job, and we fell on hard times, but I'm a professional. I've taught for 15 years, and I do not make enough money to support my family. My child, I have 3 children, 2 in college, 1 that's a freshman at Windsor High School, all honor students. My child qualifies for reduced lunch. Without a raise and with the proposed health increase that you are proposing, my child might and probably will qualify for free lunch next year. I'm a 15-year veteran. I deserve better than that, and my family deserves better than that. I should be able to support my family on my salary. I cannot. There's an increase to get new recruits into the school. You're giving them better pay. They're going to be making $8,000 less than me with my 15 to 16 years experience. Now that's just in the classroom with full-time teaching. That does not include my parenting skills that I bring. That does not include the substitute teaching that I've done. You need to take care of us. Thank you.
Thank you. We will entertain 2 more speakers at this time. We'll entertain 2 more speakers.
Hello, my name is Ashley Tyson. I go to Nansemond River currently. I'm a senior here. I wasn't planning on speaking, but I kind of had issues with the fact that we are having a 14% raise for our superintendent. It doesn't really make sense when I see my teachers and they can't fund to have things to dissect for our biology class. Our teachers don't have enough money to even print paper half the time. And you sit there and you want to have a 14% raise for a superintendent when there's no money going to our teachers. Our teachers literally are our backbone. I sit there every day and I appreciate my teachers. They sit there, they have taught me so much. And I genuinely have never seen my superintendent in my schools. I have never seen anyone from up here in my schools. But I see my teachers daily. They give me so much support in and out of school. They have Remind, they do all these things just to help us get to college. You guys are so proud about everywhere that we're going. You're proud about all the money we're raising, and you hope that we come back, but honestly, we don't have any reason to come back. You all make us not want to stay. This school system is broken. I don't understand how you want a 14% raise to match the pay of other superintendents of other school systems, because we don't even have enough money in our school system to give you that raise. If we don't have that much money in our economy of Suffolk, then there's no way to give you that money. Like, it makes no sense. So that's my only issue, is that honestly, you may already have it, you may not, but even if you already have it, you can always take things away. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, not seeing anybody else. Is there one more person who'd like to speak before I close the meeting? Anybody else like to speak before I close the meeting? Seeing nobody? Nope. We're going to close the meeting at this time. We'll take a 5-minute break before we start the regular school board meeting. Thank you for coming, everybody, and we hope we'll have answers for you in the near future.